About 70,000 African every year leave the continent for work arrangements and opportunity in places like the North America, Europe, Australia, and now Asia. Not only that, but in 2013, the OECD published a report showing that about 7 million Africans work in places like the US and Europe. And the same report also showed that by 2050, about 34 million Africans will be working outside of the continent. And these numbers represent a vacuum of skilled workers in areas like medicine, business, engineering, technology, every year leaving the continent in pursuit of better working conditions overseas, while the continent is being depleted from people who could have been the engine of development on the ground. My name is Lunta Di La Paulo, and today I want to share with you some of my reflections about brain drain. So, when we talk about brain drain in the continent, an obvious question is clearly why so many Africans are leaving the continent. And there are many answers to this question. Academics have written extensively about the reasons and causes of leaving the continent. However, today my focus is not so much towards why Africans are leaving the continent, but rather what can both those living and governments in place do to mitigate these challenges. So, here's some ideas that I believe could make a huge difference in the continent. From the government side, it's important to develop policies that help the country retain these qualified people. One of the constant complaints about those leaving the continent has always been that there isn't enough pay or the working conditions aren't safe. But the most important and the most common challenge or complaint has been that many African countries or government often do not value and respect their scholars, academics, and skilled workers. For instance, many African skilled workers who graduate from universities in Europe or in North America, when they go back to their countries to and start working, very often their superiors often do not take their ideas as valid, but instead they hire consultants from Europe. Very often they end up being the same people their employee studied with and went to school with in Europe or North America. So it's important that policy in place not only address the issue about compensation, but to value the African knowledge, African scholarship, and African intellect. That would be a major step towards addressing this challenge. On the other side, we have those of us who have left the continent to work overseas. One of the suggestions and one of the things that I've been doing that I believe could be a major change is to help other Africans grow academically. One way to do this can be through mentorship programs and projects. The other way to contribute and help could be through sponsorship programs. You can sponsor a student on the ground. You can provide tuition coverage or books or send technology equipment to support their academic progress. Also, you can share about scholarship opportunities that you know about and provide guidance to help them achieve success. Not only that, Africans working or studying overseas could also be a major contributing factor to the scholarship of the continent. by developing publication, peer review journals, by writing more about the continent, making policy proposals. All these things, when put together, could help the continent achieve more and grow to a better direction. So those are some of the thoughts that I wanted to share with you. And if you'd like to discuss them with me, I'd love to connect with you, and please feel free to do so. You can find my information through my social media accounts, either on Facebook, Twitter, or even in the YouTube. So I appreciate your time and thank you for connecting with me today.